It's great to meet you. I'm Lenora Farrington, a realtor in Central Virginia. Real estate is fun for me because it involves community building, relationships, and helping my clients build wealth for their future with learning, logic, and big picture planning. Getting all the ducks in a row to take action when the right opportunity comes along. This video is for experienced buyers. I made this course for you. If you're experienced, you've been around the block a few times, you don't need someone talking down to you. You need to look at what went right the last time and what went wrong in your last purchase, and think through how to change that this time around. You need to understand how this market is different from the ones you purchased in the past. And you need to understand how laws change and vary state to state. So you may need to get caught up to date and see what's different about where you're moving to. Because in this ultra fast-paced market, you want to be ready to strike when the right opportunity comes along. So how is this market different from what we've seen before? The big one everyone is comparing it to is 2008, of course, when prices started rising in 2007 and midway through 2008, they bottomed out. If you've been waiting for that to happen this time around, you have to ask yourself how long you've been waiting. A lot longer than a year, right? We'd never seen a crash like that before, and we're not going to see it again, at least not in the same way. More on that later. What's unique about this market is how fast it's moving. The good ones go in 48 hours. No kidding. In past markets, you may have left getting the loan approval started until after you found the one and were ready to make an offer. Not this time. Savvy listing agents publish new homes on a Thursday or Friday with an aim to take advantage of weekend viewing traffic. And reviewing offers Sunday evening and being under contract by Monday morning. Since the banks aren't open on the weekends, if the pre-qual goes in with the paperwork, and it does, you'll need to get that pre-qual before you start looking in person. Otherwise, when you find the one and you're not ready to make an offer, you will lose it to another buyer before you can act. When you are ready, I recommend getting in the habit of checking on new homes daily, but especially Fridays, and plan on spending Saturday or Sunday looking at homes. I hate saying this, I'm a low pressure, sleep on it kind of girl, but in this market, you have to be prepared to make a decision immediately. So think through what you want in a home before you go on in-person showings. Figuring it out as you go can waste a lot of time, gas, and energy. If you have a family, make sure you and your partner are on the same page. And remember, there's no such thing as a 100% perfect home. So know the difference between what you want and what you need. What you need versus what you need now versus what you can add later. And don't worry if it needs a little work or it looks dated. Remember, the furniture isn't staying, and updated paint and light fixtures will dramatically change the feel in any room. Do some window shopping online before you get out in person. Online websites like Zillow and Realtor.com can be helpful for that, but understand that most online websites draw from the multiple listing service, the MLS, but with a few hours, if not a few days, delay. Remember what I said about the good ones going in 48 hours? You really need a direct line to the MLS, which is put together by the Realtors Association. So research and interview your potential real estate agents and make that decision before going to in-person showings. Prices will seem high compared to what you paid last time, and they are high, But remember that, like the stock market, real estate is constantly going up with a few little zigzags in between. That's why you bought in the first place, so you could sell, make profit, and trade up. Yes, we will see some corrections, but no, 2008 is not going to repeat itself exactly the way it happened before. It's already proven that by not bottoming out in a year. The housing shortage is not going away overnight because you can't build houses overnight. And you also can't wait for gas, grocery prices to return to the 1980s levels before you buy those, can you? You need to put gas in your car and buy groceries, put food on the table now. We all have to live in the world that exists now. So instead of worrying about the price of milk in the 80s and 90s, worry about how to deal with the situation as it currently stands, because there's not going to be this dramatic change. Keep in mind for both your home sale and your home purchase, smart listing agents list below market value to attract multiple bidders and get a bidding war started. That's what drives the price back up again. In past markets, you used to be able to underbid. Now you typically have to overbid, or you're likely just wasting your time. On top of overbidding, a lot of buyers are forgoing inspection to give themselves a competitive edge over other bidders. I never recommend skipping inspection. If you're a contractor or otherwise have the skills to know what you're looking at and you're sure that's what you want to do, it's not off the table, but I don't recommend it. Another way buyers give themselves an advantage is to write into the contract, promising to make up the difference with cash if it doesn't appraise. There's always a limit, and less money's no object for you. That's what's been driving prices up so outrageously. Appraisals are based on comps. Once a home closes at a particular price, it's on the books at that price. That is the market value of this home now. Even if it wasn't last week, it is now. And that affects not only that house, but every other house in the neighborhood. So underpricing is a consistently proven successful strategy. And finding a listing that doesn't use it will mean either a brand new agent with no guidance, which can cause difficulty getting through the contract to close process, or a for sale by owner. That can mean they refuse to pay for your agent, so you may have to fork over their commission yourself. That brings us to who pays the realtors. One way to look at it is that it comes out of seller proceeds. Another way is that the seller proceeds come out of what the buyer brings to the table, both in terms of their cash deposit and the loan they qualify for and will ultimately pay for. So some people look at it as the seller paying for both, usually sellers, but others look at it as the buyer paying for both, usually buyers. Ultimately, it's a partnership. The ratification to close period is a temporary contractual partnership where both parties negotiate, represented by their respective agents, to its conclusion, and they both participate in the funding of it. And that generally brings you up to date in this market. Now, if there's anything you want to go better than last time, skim for the topic in my video series for first-time home buyers. I'll put a link to that in the comments. You'll find some helpful tips there about what you can do differently this time around.